Story time. Towers will fall until balance is restored. Putting respect back on our names. By Kandayia. So, it's been a year since I actually realized and came to terms that my life was in danger and that my children and I were being set up for human and sex trafficking, identity theft and fraud, other miscellaneous crimes, and ultimately the loss of my life. All because I walked away from one toxic scenario that was unhealthy, only to walk right into an environment where I've witnessed the most insidious things taking place. Things like drug transactions, human and sex trafficking, insurance and PPP loan fraud, identity theft, murders, gang stalking, bullying, spiritual warfare, mental and biological warfare, and more. I wasn't just a witness to these things, I was a victim of quite a few of them. All because once I found out who and what I was dealing with, I cut ties with some pretty bad folks, kept to myself, and wouldn't turn back to follow the crowd. I know that this sounds silly because you would think that as an adult, other adults would be mature enough to mind their business and just let things be. The people I cut out of my life just couldn't leave things alone and walk away in peace as I did. Not only did they try to stagnate my willingness to move on with my life, they set up blockages and teamed up with some pretty big people in elite places to come after me due to fear of their lies, groups, and crimes being made public. Because the bigger heads had their own secrets that I am aware of, they all needed me to shut up permanently. The people that came on board had everything to lose, but due to their high positions and rankings, they felt untouchable. Crushing me was considered lightweight, because they had done this to many others before. Getting rid of me and my children would keep their secrets hidden, and me surviving and being living evidence just wasn't a part of the plan. No one ever thought to stop and think, what if this was done to me and my family? I was considered as the lowest of the low, and beneath the value of rodents to these people. They were for certain that I was bound to walk into at least one of the traps set for me because I had lost every single thing that I owned, and was down on my luck. It rumored that I was simply a nobody, no voice, no family, besides my children, strung out on drugs, and willing to sell myself to the lowest bidder. They amped up the lies by stating that I was the dumbest of the dumb and have done the most horrific things to others in order to have things go my way in life. People looked at me and believed the hype. I instantly became a threat. Even without knowing my truth, they took action to make me pay, even if that meant taking my life. No one ever thought to ask me anything. I was deemed unapproachable and violent because of drug and alcohol use spread through gossip and slander. The pressure was immense. At first, I felt like I was, indeed, losing my mind. I sat there and watched these people slowly erase my entire existence, and no one believed me. They made me seem crazy and deranged to family and friends, hacked into my phone, emails, and social media accounts. My physical mail was blocked, bank accounts closed for suspicious activity, my credit dropped into the negative, and was wiped clean away. I didn't even exist in the DMV and other governmental databases. I looked like a fugitive and a fraud on paper. We have been bullied into restless days and nights, put into dramas that were not ours, gossiped about and threatened to be put out on the streets by just about everyone. I couldn't stay with family, they all had their reasons as to why. No one knew that I was dying inside from so much neglect and hatred always being sent my way only because I chose to walk away from people that would lie, cheat, steal, and kill to get ahead and will do just about anything to make sure that they stayed ahead. I have been gang stalked, drugged, poisoned, trafficked, blackmailed, blacklisted, energy harvested, deprived of assistance of any kind, bullied, abandoned, outnumbered, stripped of my dignity, looked at as a criminal, a horrible parent, and unemployed. This would eventually have me on the road to being left for dead. This became my reality. No one would help me, nobody cared, Most people were scared of me because it was said that I was unstable and couldn't be trusted, or a whore that slept with every man or woman that came into contact with me. My children and I suffered greatly at the hands of these people, and when I would talk about it, it sounded like a scary movie and hard to comprehend. No one wanted to believe that insidious things happened to me, and I was still alive to talk about it. Most people distanced themselves from me because they were afraid of their own safety being jeopardized. I was just out there, in the world, no identification, no money, no belongings, no friends and family support, no access to government programs, no voice, and no one to speak up for the injustices that I was experiencing on a daily basis. I wanted to end my life. My daughter became suicidal from the bullying, my sons had drawn into themselves, and we went from a peaceful household to where it seemed as though we argued almost every day. I felt like I was losing my only hope, which was my family. I watched my life become a living hell. I watched my entire existence disappear right before my eyes. I went from being seen as a linchpin and pillar of the community to a bitter, vengeful woman that would do anything that she could to destroy the lives of others. I was broken. I was lost. I had nowhere else to turn. Everyone that seemed for me would eventually turn against me, becoming an inside enemy. I thought that this would be the new norm in my life for the rest of my life. I shut down and drew into myself. I didn't know who to trust, only my children and the Most High knew the true pain that existed in my life at the time. Can you say devastated? Things took a turn when I prayed and cried so hard, vowing to not stop until I heard from the Most High directly. I couldn't understand why this was happening to me and my children. My heart was already torn from my chest, and the next would be death if I didn't get an answer. Right when I was ready to make myself disappear, I heard the word Exodus. Separate yourself. Disconnect to reconnect to who you are meant to be. I got up and immediately spoke to my children about what I heard. I vowed to do as I was told and to keep moving forward into who I was meant to be no matter what happened. I reconnected with gifts, both mentally and spiritually. I told myself that I will not give up, I will finish what the Most High started in me. I blocked out the world and began to co-create in the spiritual realm. I went into the darkest places of my life and dug up everything against myself and dealt with as much of my shortcomings as I could. I forgave myself and others for things that happened in my life that would have made me bitter and hateful. I spent countless hours studying and learning about myself and my place in this world. I had struggles, knowing that there were people that wanted me dead and gone. I wasn't afraid of myself anymore, which diminished the fear of others bringing me harm. I realized that only I could choose to live in fear or become my own voice. I went from being a silent person to speaking up for others that have lost their lives from the same attacks. I now have enough strength to speak for the people who are currently experiencing the same fated events. The people that chose to be my enemy never expected me to survive. They never wanted me to live and love again. They never wanted me to find my voice to speak up for myself, let alone others. These people hid in the shadows and formulated a plan to bring a sad ending to my life. I am alive because I wanted to live and help others get through tough times and heal from traumas. I was set up to fail at this mission. To be seen as incompetent and delusional. Some of these people soon found out that I wasn't as gullible as I was made out to be, nor was I a weak, single mother that would sell her mind, body, or soul to and for anyone or anything. I was not going to be labeled or ostracized from my own life. I worked with integrity and diligence to build myself into a respectable woman. I couldn't allow them to take that away. If I died within the next second, my story will be told and all that had a hand in my life being turned upside down will be brought to justice. There is peace in my life, and I will spend the rest of my life helping others achieve the same peace of mind. We are sacrificed in so many ways with no one to believe us when we try to speak up. I will help others speak up. I understand their pain. It's time for my people to get their lives back, and we are not asking anyone anymore. We will expose and stand firm in our truth. My spirit is on fire, and I will keep the flame burning until my last breath is taken. I will use my gifts to help change the world.